Hello, planet Earth. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK, my BFF Jill 730.
My BFF Jill 730.
I'm Preston L. Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations. As always, you've made your way to the Buffington Post. Today I'll be continuing my Season 9 coverage of the Buffyverse with Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 9, issue number 20. It's The Watcher. But before we get into it, previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
At the end of Season 8, Buffy, of course, destroyed magic, and it has had a lot of consequences. We, of course, have the Zompires, which introduced us to SeVerin, this character known as the Siphon, who, since the destruction of magic, has actually discovered that he can absorb the mystical energies that are left out there in the world from mystical beings. He first discovered this power when he accidentally killed his girlfriend Claire, who was like one of the first Zompires to be made since, the whole no magic thing. And now he has teamed up with Simone crazy renegade slayer with guns, who wants to now become like a super duper vampire that is strong enough to kill Buffy. SeVerin is going to help her try to achieve this somehow, and she is going to help him achieve his goal of reversing time so that his girlfriend Claire is not made into a Zompire. Buffy has been all over the place trying to chase down Zompires and trying to chase down SeVerin, and now she's back at home in San Francisco only to find out that Dawn is fading away without magic. Willow is still gone, she has not returned from her Wonderland adventure, and Xander is basically blaming Buffy for the predicament that Dawn is now in.
So let's see if we can't get Buffy and Xander back on the same page in Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 9, issue number 20, The Watcher. Here we go. Number 20 opens up back in the Seed of Wonder chamber at the end of Season 8, and we see how helpless Xander feels. He came down here to destroy the seed himself, and it ended up not doing anything, and he just feels completely useless. Buffy's distraught, Angel's confused, Giles is dead, and Xander can't do anything to have stopped this, and he's basically just thinking about all of the people that he's seen die and how, again, useless he's been to them. So all of this frustration has been building up in Xander for so long, and he just starts wailing on Angel. Angel's confused, he's like, I didn't do this to Giles, it was Twilight, etc., but Xander doesn't care, he's just knocking the shit out of Angel. He picks up the broken piece of the scythe to stake Angel with it. But Buffy stops him and she's like, look, I can't lose anybody else, I can't lose you, let's just drop it. I'm done. And Buffy is seriously done. I mean, this is the lowest of the low for Buffy. Her life. So we pick up in the current time, and again, like, oh, our lives, how useless are we? Dawn is still in this comatose body, and of course, the neural transfer into the Buffy robot body did not work because it's just mystical energies and not brainwaves, and it's just like, what are we gonna do? Buffy's trying to communicate with Xander, but he's not having any of it. He's still blaming her, and basically, Buffy is having to talk through Andrew because Xander's just acting so childish. Buffy basically says, blame me all you want, but if you not helping me turns out to be the reason that we can't get Dawn back, you're just as much to blame as I am, and I don't want to hear any more of your shit unless it's constructive. So Xander leaves, and it's just Buffy and Andrew, and, like, again, we're not making any progress on this whole let's not let Dawn die situation. So back at Xander and Dawn's apartment, he is stewing, feeling useless, and he's looking at this picture of Buffy, Joyce, and Dawn is fading away, and it's actually the same one from No Place Like Home, where Buffy was, like, tripping, and she saw Dawn's picture fading in and out, right? Well then, he is magically teleported away, and he's like, what the heck? So there we find SeVerin and Simone, and they're like, hey, why don't you help us, and we'll help you. SeVerin explains that he and Xander are not so different. Xander wants to save his girlfriend, and that's what SeVerin's trying to do too. He is doing this all for Claire. He wants her to not be dead anymore. And basically, Simone explains to Xander that they both have these two birds that they want to save, and they can do that by destroying one Buffy-shaped stone. So on the roof of Andrew's place, Buffy and Andrew are just kind of sitting, and he's trying to comfort her and say, Buffy, don't worry, we are totally going to save your sister. Everything's going to be fine. Xander just needs to come to his senses. And Buffy appreciates it, but she's still feeling pretty hopeless. Well then, here comes Willow. She's like, I'm back from all the places I've been. Long story, we'll talk about it later. What's going on around here? Buffy explains that Dawn is fading away because of the no magic situation, and she needs Willow's help, and she just doesn't know what to do. And Willow's looking at the scar that Ko gave her with his magical, and she touches it, and it heals, and Buffy realizes, holy shit, girl, you've got magic again. What the heck? So Willow's got magic. Buffy's totally relieved. She's like, oh my gosh, I thought Xander was right, and we weren't going to be able to fix Dawn, but now that you're here, we have all the possibilities in the world. Thank you, Willow. I love you, Willow. So back with Simone, SeVerin, and Xander. SeVerin is explaining that he can undo all of this stuff that has happened to Claire and is happening to Dawn if he can figure out exactly how to use Illyria's time powers without, destroying reality. Simone says, look at the facts, SeVerin is your only option. And the way that we can get this whole thing down and working is if you actually bring us that book that Giles left to Buffy. And Xander's like, why would I help you? Why do you need this book? They are basically trying to undo Twilight. They don't want to stop the seed from being destroyed per se, and they don't want to kill Buffy. They just want to stop Twilight from happening. And so if they can go back in time and fix all of this, then Xander kind of won't have betrayed Buffy, and even though he kind of will have, nobody will know because time will have been, fixed or just readjusted, and everybody will be fine. Simone says, Buffy's trying to bring Dawn and make her okay, but I'll bet you that she doesn't even believe that she can do it. But we know that our plan will work, so come on now. And Xander, who has never had any powers and has always felt useless and has felt like he just witnesses every awful thing happening around him, finally decides that this is his moment to take matters into his own hands, and he says, okay, I'm in. And that's where we end the issue. Woo! Woo! Oh, Xander. Look at you, Xander. You're betraying Buffy. And the thing about it is they explain to Xander that if they do, fix time and undo Twilight, that's what they want to do. They don't want to kill Buffy. They don't want to, stop the seed from being destroyed per se. They want to just stop Twilight from happening. And so I can see why Xander is making this choice, because basically here's something that he can do, finally, to affect the world and this fight and just have Dawn, which is the most important thing in his life right now. He and Dawn, from the middle of season 8 onward, were trying to figure out how to have this normal life, and that's something that they've been trying to do all throughout season 9, and now Dawn doesn't even have an unnormal life. She's not going to have one at all, and Xander at this point is thinking, whatever I can possibly do is better than doing nothing, even if that means betraying Buffy, because at this point, of course, he's blaming Buffy for all of the things that are happening, and while that's not necessarily fair, it makes sense for the Xander character, who has always felt kind of second tier. Just go back to the Zeppo, and sure, by the end of it, he had kind of understood his own self-worth, but at the end of the day, Xander is just powerless, and he feels that way. And again, Buffy feels completely powerless here. She's never been quite this helpless, and so when Willow shows up, it is this sigh of relief for everyone involved. For the reader, for Buffy, for Willow herself just being back and feeling like, okay, I can help you, etc. It's all really good stuff, and I love the way that Carl Moline draws SeVerin and Simone. I think they look badass, they look very intimidating. I love the Siphon's new Illyria-inspired look. It's really great stuff, and this issue is just really good. I love this stuff where we see Xander just going ham on Angel, ready to stake him. It's all really good. I love this issue because it allows for us to really care about Xander and understand what's at stake for him. And, there's so much of the Buffyverse that's so supernatural and all of this good stuff, but it's about humanity. It's about Xander's humanity, and it's about Buffy's humanity. And Dawn is kind of representative of the humanity of the Buffyverse. And if we can't even take care of her, then what's the point of Buffy's mission? What's the point of any of this if they can't protect this one innocent girl? Now, there's one part of this issue that really irks me, and it's when Buffy is talking about who they could call and why they can't call them. She talks about how Willow's all gone and how Spike, Lord knows what happened to him and his bugs, and she talks about how Faith is in London, and she says, and self-centered. Like, really, Buffy? Why do you think that Faith is the self-centered one when all of the evidence has always pointed to you being the self-centered one? Buff just really gets on my nerves. She will not ever give Faith a break, even though by this point, she's supposed to have finally cut Faith a little bit of fucking slack. So, just my little rant about Buffy and her relationship to Faith and how she is just determined to put her down even when she's the only one, like, actually trying to take care of the Slayers out there, right? And so I really do like this issue. There's great stuff to be found. I love the little tie-in, of course, to No Place Like Home back in Season 5. And it's all just really good. You should definitely check out The Watcher. But that's pretty much all I've got for today, you guys. I hope you're having a great 2016 so far, everyone. You can come right back here to the Buffington Post anytime for Buffy the Vampire Slayer reviews, Angel and Faith reviews, Buffyverse discussions on the other Slayers. Some Buffyverse discussions are coming. I know I've been kind of staying away from the Buffyverse discussions, but I do have some in the works, so stay tuned for those as well. Have a great day today, you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. We're stressed out. Sometimes a certain smell will take me back to when I was young. How come I'm never able to identify where it's coming from? I'd make a candle out of it if I ever found it. Try to sell it, never sell out of it. I'd probably only sell one. Maybe to my brother, cause we have the same nose, same clothes, homegrown, a stone's throw from a creek we used to roam. But it would remind us of when nothing really mattered. Out of student loans and treehouse homes, we all would take the ladder. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. My name's Blurry Face and I care what you think. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out. Wish we could turn back time to the good old days when the mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
My BFF Joe 730.